Okay, I saw this picture of a dog, before and after pics. It showed that it was fat in the before pic and then really slender in the after pic, but it just didn't look healthy in the after pic. The people described it as eating people food, and that's the thing that I question. I think a dog or any other animal like that, maybe cats, who get fat off of this people food really are an indication of how unhealthy and unpeople-like the food is. I mean, if it's getting dogs and cats fat, it's just gonna get people fat too. It's not even people food. Okay, they described it as pizzas and hot dogs and whatnot. I mean, yeah, we're maybe omnivores, but we're not exactly herbivores. We're not exactly carnivores either, but I mean, we're pretty close to the carnivores as humans because we only have one stomach. We don't have several stomachs to ferment the grass into energy. We only have one stomach. We don't ferment that grass. We may have a longer digestive system, a longer intestinal tract, but that doesn't mean we're fermenting that food seriously. Okay, that we're not fermenting plants. We can't turn leaves into a large amount of energy. We get our maximum energy from meats. Okay, because that's the easiest to digest. However, it tends to constipate us. I was on a heavy protein diet for a while, and it got me constipated quite frequently. And it was in my younger years. I didn't know how to really deal with it properly enough, so I probably suffered some damage. But pets, that's silly. I mean, what was people food before? There was a definite line drawn at some point between people food and animal food, and that line was most likely drawn in the 1900s when food was getting manufactured, when there was pet food getting manufactured. There's a history to it there. I mean, before it was easy to hunt down other animals, particularly the herbivores, and feed the dogs and cats the scraps. But then food started getting manufactured, and people saw profit with making specifically pet foods, and that's when there's a distinction that was just distinguished, and it's silly how we look at it. Like it feels to me like it's always been around. Like there's always been people food and pet food, but I know that's just not the case. That's historically it's not the case. There has been more of a sharing of the food. There just hasn't been as much of a cat lover, dog lover frenzy either. That really has gone crazy since the internet, with all these videos and pictures of cats and dogs doing weird things, and people like comparing them to humans and how they're humans in nature. Um, I kind of thought of dogs and cats as humans a little bit, but Cesar Chavez really helped me realize that there's just a huge distinction between us, and even my own perceptions with animals. I mean, if they don't have a thumb, I mean, they don't have the ability to do much of anything anyway. They can't pick up this camera and take pictures. They just don't have that ability. And sure, they showed pictures of animals with like an extra paw or something like that. It's an extra finger on their paw, but they're a long ways from being able to do human things. So for them not to be able to do human things, they're not going to be thinking human thoughts. Um, but yeah, creating a distinction and trying to make them look like humans too. There's a lot of confusion that we are developing with our fellow pets these days. It's a little frustrating to hear.